colorism exists all over the world, but as a black woman, certainly colorism is a very big, a big part of the conversation. Not as upfront as in Indian matchmaking, though, honey. Because I blanched the first time Auntie Sima said fair, and then it just kept happening again and again. So fair. Let's get into the colorism and the caste system and all of that. These are modern people. These are people that are very well educated. These are people that are global in the way they approach their life. Yet they still have these antiquated notions. What's your take on that?
I mean, look, it would have been really easy and, probably, spared me a lot of incoming fire if we had just edited out, the 5 or 6 references to fairness in the show. I didn't want to do that because that is the reality of our culture, and it comes from a place we were, a colonized people until relatively recently, until a generation ago. And, there's a lot of stuff that we've internalized over, not only over the last, decades, but over centuries about, what makes someone attractive, what makes someone valuable, what makes someone good, and those all really manifest in ideas around, beauty standards, like, that include colorism and, casteism and things like that. And just because, a lot of people we're a new generation, we've become more globalized and more educated, doesn't mean all of us have sort of shut ourselves of those, deeply ingrained, deeply internalized ideas. And the point, of including all of that in the show was to not only to hold a mirror up to society and really and force the conversation, force us to talk about things that we don't talk about. I'm speaking specifically from, middle class, upper middle class Indian, culture, society. We don't really talk about these things. We just internalize it and then we pass it on to our kids. And the idea of putting that in the show was to force a conversation, for us to talk about it. And also, what I hope will come across is that we as, as Indians have experienced a huge change in one generation. My mother was married at 16. Wow. She was asked one time, her father told her, "I want you to marry this guy. Do you have any objection?" My mom said no, and they were married. Now they had, they were married for, until my father passed away. They had a great relationship, very equitable partnership, a great marriage, but so much. I got married at 33, to a non-Indian man of my choosing, and so much has changed in one generation, and not everybody has had the same opportunity to deprogram themselves and unpack a lot of those internalized ideas. And I think it's going to take these conversations, these tough conversations, for us to recognize, why do we consider fair skin, to be beautiful? Why do we want to marry somebody from a similar background? Where is that coming from? And do those ideas still fit in the vision of our lives that we have today? I think we need to have that conversation, and rather than just sweep it under the rug. And it was an intentional choice to include that in the show.